He's the head coach. Excuse me, he's at Alabama. That's a prestige organization, or I should say program. Kalen DeBoer would never get a pass for just making the college football playoffs. The expectation and the standard will always be national championship. I understand Nick Saban set that standard, and Nick Saban is a different coach than a lot more. But just because Nick Saban isn't there doesn't mean the standard should change. The standard should always be national championship when you look at this program and this organization in Alabama. Now, I think this game is going to be a little bit more closer than people give it credit for. I like the adjustments that I've seen Alabama make in the second half against the quarterback for Oklahoma and pressuring him and forcing the issue. And I love what I've seen from Ty Simpson, orchestrating things at the line of scrimmage and throwing the football. But we also got to remember, it is raining out there in California right now. That leans towards Indiana, in my opinion, with that run game that they have. They have a three-headed monster at running back. I speak of two, Hemby and you look at Black. Those guys can be very physical at the point of attack. And I think Indiana's one of the most well-balanced football teams in college football, and I don't think they get all of the credit that they deserve for being so.
Harry, you're right. There is no such thing as a pass nowadays in college football or NFL football. There is no such thing as a pass. Ryan Day won't get a pass in Columbus, and he won a national championship last season. But in Columbus, Ohio today, he will not get a pass. And so Kalen DeBoer, and now I don't buy into he was going to go to Michigan. They were going to move on from him if he lost to Oklahoma. I don't buy into any of that. But I do know that there is absolutely not a pass given to anybody, regardless of what happens, how you win, how you lose. If you don't win it all in today's world, there's no pass. The seats in college football get hot after about 2 seasons. Kalen DeBoer is on his 2nd season there, and it hasn't been terrible to Alabama. He's coming behind Nick Saban and what Nick Saban did, but he's been successful. He's in the playoff right now. They won in the first round. They're here at the Rose Bowl. And if they lose this game, he will not get a pass. His seat will be extremely hot. And in this world now, because of the social media and the access and everyone having a voice, everyone will come after him. And they'll talk about every single job that opens up. Is he going to leave Alabama and go to Michigan? That doesn't make any sense anywhere in the world except in college football now. When these jobs open, when you don't win national championships, you are automatically in the conversation of, will you lose your job if you lose? I don't think that happens with Kalen DeBoer. There's going to be a lot of eyeballs on this game. I agree with you, Harry, in the fact that Indiana probably has a better ability to run the football. We've been talking about Alabama running the football all season long. They just can't do it. In a game like today, in this kind of weather, they're going to have to find a way to move the ball because Ty Simpson in that offense hasn't looked great in the last month. They have to find a way to fix those issues. But there will absolutely not be a pass if he loses. He didn't lose his job, but there will be some heat applied.
Why are we burying the
job? But there will be some heat applied.
Why are we burying the lead? Because Courtney's sitting here? Because y'all watched her walk in with that IU sweater? They playing Indiana. And I get it. I think Kurt Cignetti is a Mickey Ficky ball coach. And the way that this team seems prepared every single week is absolutely phenomenal. But it's still Indiana. It's still a basketball school, and they ain't even that good at that no more. Bobby Knight ain't coaching them on God rest. Guys, nobody in Alabama looks at Indiana's schedule and says to themselves, this is a blue chip team. This is the no stars versus the 5 stars. This is the blue chippers versus the chips on the shoulders. And hell yeah, Kalen DeBoer's seat is going to be hot because look at all this we got you. Look at all the NIL that we brought to you. Look at all the people that are on your team as opposed to the people that's on their team. Hell yeah, you supposed to win. They're going to look at, oh, you beat Iowa. Oh, you beat Oregon. We saw what Ohio State is. They're going to feel like in Alabama that this team hasn't played the sort of schedule that they've played, that they don't have the sort of players on their team that they have. And if he doesn't win, hell yeah, the seat is hot because you're supposed to beat Indiana. They ain't done enough not in my mind. I think they're a great team. They haven't done enough in the perception of the people who love college football, who are historians, who are traditionalists, to say that you're supposed to go out and beat Alabama and they don't care if you rank number 1.
Perception's different than reality. The Oregon win was a big win. The Penn State win was a big win. Those are wins that battle-tested teams that happens to be number 1 team in the CFP banks, and they lose their conference championship. They still stay in there at number 9. That's cool. We're going to get to that in a little bit, but before I get too heated, let's pick these 3 games today, starting with Ole Miss and Georgia. Which team takes the game, Joey?
I like Georgia, but they're a team that's coming off of a bye. I know that last week Ole Miss was excited to get back on the football field because all we had talked about was Lane Kiffin leaving, and they came back and they looked great against Tulane. We've watched this matchup early in the season. Trinidad Chambliss was terrific for 3 quarters, and then they couldn't finish it off, and Georgia came back. I think this is a different Georgia team that's playing as well as anyone in the country right now. I love their defense. Gunnar Stockton was amazing in the second half against Ole Miss before. I like Georgia to win.
Yeah, I'm going to go Georgia as well. It's the 3-headed monster that can run the football. It's Nate Frazier, it's Bowens, and it's also Gunnar Stockton, who has over 400 yards rushing and 8 rushing touchdowns this season. But also that defense, it's imperative now that you get Trinidad Chambliss in 3rd and longs. That was the difference in their first matchup, right, in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 10, 3rd and 9, 3rd and 10. They were able to get stops. First and second down production on defense. I think Georgia wins this one.
Yeah, I believe Georgia as well. You look at Georgia, the way they were able to play in the second half of that game, find ways to get stopped, but they were unstoppable offensively. And I believe since then, this offense has played better, but some of those young players on the defensive side of the ball have started to come into their potential for Kirby Smart in that defense.
Okay, Harry, real quick. Oregon, Texas Tech.
I'm going with Texas Tech, and it's because of their defense. They're 2 bookends when you look at Romello Height and then also David Bailey, who's second in college football right now, sacking the quarterback. But they have guys at all 3 levels on defense, defensive line, linebacker, and then also in their secondary. And don't sleep on their wide receivers. They have 3 really good ones, so I'm going with Texas Tech.
Yeah, I'm going with Texas Tech as well. When you watch that championship game and the way that you saw them not only swarming the quarterback, but turning the football over, and their best player, who was a Heisman candidate as a defensive player, didn't even make those plays. I think Texas Tech suffocates this Oregon offense.
I like Texas Tech also. I don't feel great about it, and I feel less great about it now that we all 3 went on one team here. It makes me feel less confident that this is going to happen. I think that Oregon is a team that we also look at and say, hey, who did they play in the regular season? We want to see them come out and prove it. Texas Tech, their defense is amazing. They lead the FBS in takeaways. They're going to have to do that against this Oregon offense. And Dante Moore, the quarterback of Oregon, is another guy that, RC, you've been telling us he's a really good quarterback in NFL draft coming up. He could be in the top 5. So we're going to see if he plays like that after we just had a conversation about some of the other stars not showing up last night.
All right, and Joey, the game that you are currently in the city of, in Pasadena, the Alabama-Indiana matchup, who wins?
I got Indiana. Yeah, RC, I'm taking basketball school Indiana to beat Alabama. I think those days of Alabama having a bunch of 5 stars and 4 stars and nobody else having any, I think those days are gone with NIL now. I think that everybody's getting some of those guys now. I like Indiana to win this game.
Well, I don't know why you point me. I like Indiana, too.
I'm going who's yours as well. 3 for 3.
All right. There we go. Joey, stay dry out there.
Thank you.
All right. Coming up next, these quarterbacks led their team